Aloha everybody, what is good my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. Today Jagex came out with the Archaeology skill, which I've been jumping into and having a blast. Without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, this video is a little different because I did wait a little bit jumping into the skill, playing it for myself before I came out with the video. Admittedly, because I was having a lot of fun as well with my friends racing, trying to get far into the skill and learn it and understand it as best as I can. But there's a little bit of, benefit for it because when it comes to this video, I can give you a more clear understanding of how the skill operates. That said, I highly suggest when you jump in, do check out the tutorial at the dig site, and please pay attention to the tutorial because there is a lot going on with this skill. The better informed you are going into it, the more better it is for you to actually pick up the concepts of how this skill operates, because there is, as I said, a lot going on. So first and foremost, this is a pretty much members skill. Although it does go to level 20 for free to play, it's a nice little change that they're trying out for this skill in particular. It's not an elite skill, but it does go up to 120. Now the premise of the skill is to excavate various different dig sites and uncover the mysteries within them. There are 5 major dig sites, with the dig sites that we're familiar with east of Varrock acting as a quasi 6th one, but it's more so for the tutorial and the general hub of the skill as well as the guilds, so it's not as comprehensive as the other 5. Anyways, in terms of training the skill, there is a plethora of ways, but by and large it comes down to gathering materials at various locations akin to your level and finding artifacts as well as other materials and using those materials to restore these old artifacts. A large chunk of the XP comes from the restoration stage, while a smaller portion comes from the extraction from the particular sites. That said, as you progress further into the skill, you get other methods of training the skill that can compound onto the already known methods that I just explained. For example, at level 40, with a couple of other requirements, you will earn the apprentice title, where you can start your own research team and you can send NPCs out for various allotted times, focus on a particular dig site, and they will come back with not only archaeology XP, but resources from that particular dig site. In addition, you yourself at one of the main dig sites can find particular places of study. Finding these places will unlock special missions for your team that generally give much more XP and unique rewards, as well as being far shorter in terms of the duration of the task you send them out to do, in turn yielding far more XP than not using these special tasks. It sounds confusing, but once you get into it, it should be fairly easy to understand. Not only that, in terms of gaining XP, there are various different mysteries on each single dig site. There are a ton of them. They range from something as simple as finding an item at the location of the dig site to solving a little puzzle, or even going on a slight mini quest to give you better insight regarding particular aspects about that given dig sites. So all of these put together make up your core experience of the skill and how you're going to train and get experience and progress further into the skill. I know, as I said, it sounds complicated and it sounds a lot, but take it one step at a time and I'm sure you'll be able to understand it as you progress through the levels. Moving on, I want to touch on the tools. There is a new tool with this skill. It's called the Mattock, very similar to a pickaxe in more ways than one. For example, it does have traditional metal tiers that you can make with your smithing skill, ranging from bronze all the way to elder rune. Keep in mind you can purchase up to rune Mattocks from the guild itself at the dig sites east of Varrock, but orichalcite and up you'd have to make yourself or buy from another player. None of those that are from the traditional metals can be augmented. However, the ones that can are a unique ones like the Dragon Mattock, Crystal, Incamdo, and the new Time and Space Mattock, similar to the Pick of Earth and Song with mining and smithing. There is also a new Hero Mattock, similar to Tavia's fishing rod or Orlando Bloom's hat. which can also be augmented. Now, I touched on earlier, this is free to play up until level 20, but members can see the skill going all the way up to 120. It is not an elite skill, so does not require any other requirements to jump right into, and it has a traditional level XP curve. In terms of XP per hour, it is on the slower end. I would not say it's as slow as Divination on release, especially when you start compounding the various different types of ways to gain XP, as I mentioned before, from both collecting materials as well as restoring your items, and even managing your crew and uncovering new mysteries. One thing I do want to point out that might not be entirely obvious to you at the start is when you find these artifacts, they're going to have a certain amount of materials required to restore them, and chances are when you do discover these items, you're not going to have all the resources to restore them right away. So it's important to note that all the items that are used to restore things in this skill can be found scattered across the entire game world, not just at these dig sites. So for example, one of the early materials that you want to look out for to restore some of your early artifacts is white oak. It can be found randomly while you're just excavating locations at the first dig sites, but also there's a concentrated spot at Ice Mountain west of Edgeville. While most of the skill does not have competition in terms of gathering the resources at the dig sites, these spots that are isolated outside of the dig sites do have competition, so anybody who is there collecting these resources will be fighting for them amongst other players. All of these materials are tradable though, so if you do not want to hunt them for yourself, you can buy them off of the GE or from other players. Anyways, after you have restored an artifact that you found, you can hand them into a various amounts of collectors scattered throughout the game world, and handing in a certain cluster of these artifacts will fill out a collection log. Depending on who you hand these items into, you will earn different rewards. For example, in one case, Chronotes, which is the new currency that helps you unlock other benefits that help you out in the skill, or you can unlock either relics or parts of relics, which are the new big reward space for the skill. That said, let's talk about relics. Relics are passive buffs that you apply to your character, which are found throughout the skill. Once found, you add them to the giant monolith at the dig site hub east of Varrock, and they do a plethora of bonuses. You can only have 3 of them activated at any given time, and they do all share a collective pool of power similar to invention machines, so you have to plan accordingly because some of the more powerful ones cannot stack together given how much power you have at your monolith. That said, that's pretty much it. There are more reward spaces that many of us are not even close to getting yet, such as Ancient Invention and Ancient Summoning, where you can summon demons, or you can have new ancient gizmos that get you the highest tier perks, or even brand new perks that we haven't seen yet, but the community is still trying to get through these levels and we're not there yet, so we don't really know much about how these play out and how they're functioning and changing the meta of the game. That said, let me know what you think about the skill. How have you been getting along with it? And with that, we're going to switch over to the patch notes and see what's been changed with today's update besides that. So let's jump into that. Starting off with changes that came with Archaeology, they changed the excavate option on several objects not connected to Archaeology in order to reduce confusion. Similar changes have been made to quest logs and other instructions. Added a dig site quest icon to all related NPCs, locations, and objects. Various changes to the Make X interface. Reduce the size of the icons on the right-hand panel. Reduce the size of the text in the Values section. When selecting a different category, it will no longer show information for an object that hasn't been selected or unlocked. The clickable/tappable region on the share options in the collection log interface have been increased to cover the entire button. Remove the cutscene that plays when entering and exiting the Hall of Camdozel in Ice Mountain. Made numerous improvements to the collection log interface. Added a reward info section on each log. Increase the click/tap area on the favorites and options button. Change the ambience on the item backgrounds so obtained items are more identifiable. Added 7 bank chests to the overworld in all 5 dig site camps, the exam center, and Archaeology Guild campus. Added 50 new bank spaces. Added a bank deposit map icon to all bank deposit locations. Added tooltips to items in the skill guide. Upon leveling up, the skill guide will display all the information about each new entry. Updated the color of the adrenaline bar to better aid those with color blindness. removed the Gatherer's Cape from players, and returned all shards, as the cape now has an Archaeology requirement. Graphically updated Morvario, renamed ancient components to 3rd Age components. The Max Guild Portal attunement is now completely independent and no longer checks against the attunements of the portals in War's Retreat. Max is now using the Jack of Trades title as he does not own the Archaeology skill pet. The mouse over text for a locked invention material now displays in red. Mousing over achievements will now show your progress towards any meta achievements they are included in. Added tooltips to the meta achievements listed under an achievement to show what's required. For example, the tooltip for Who's the Boss 6 achievements, listed as a requirement for the final boss achievement, states kill a total number of bosses X out of 5,000 times. Change the text in the skills interface to say view skill guide rather than just view. Lower the brightness on the sun over the desert strikeworms east of Al Kharid. Moving on to bug fixes. 2 hot fixes went live in the past week. Players can no longer open the Yak Track interface while the first time user experience is still active via the task list or Sir Yak Trick More, as doing so caused an issue where blank tasks were displayed on the interface. And players can now hand in eggs to Benedict regardless of how much Benedict's World Tour has been completed. Fixed an issue where the message played after unlocking the 15th anniversary skilling speech bubbles pointed to the incorrect tab within game settings. Fixed numerous graphic bugs surrounding the new dig site entrances and the Archaeology Guild campus. Fixed an issue where the gizmo interface would not repopulate the potential outcomes when dragging a material out of the grid area. Fixed an issue where the spacer wasn't showing between some of the requirements of the Make X interface. The thumbs of certain dig site employees have been returned to their proper size. With that, I'm going to close out the video just panning over some known issues, so do pause them if you really want to check these out. These are all things that they are definitely working on to fix in the coming short weeks and such, but since they are not particularly updates, I thought I'd just scroll through them. Just know that these various different things are known to Jagex and being worked on. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. Let me know what you guys think about the skill, etc., all these patch notes, how you've been getting along with everything. Definitely want to hear where you come off in terms of this skill. So looking forward to hear from you guys. With that, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.